Well, I'm Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. You're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Monday, March 29th, 2021, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You had a fantastic weekend. Whoopi Goldberg, John Hamm, Nathan Fillion, and Bill Hader have joined the voice cast of Marvel's MODOK. Goldberg will guest star as Pound Cakes, Hamm will play Iron Man, Fillion will play Wonder Man, and Hader will play Angar the Screamer and the Leader, Hulu announced Saturday. The animated series is set to debut on Hulu May 21st. The synopsis reads, the megalomaniacal superhero MODOK, played by Patton Oswalt, has long pursued his dreams of one day conquering the Earth. After years of setbacks and failures fighting the Earth's mightiest heroes, MODOK has run his evil organization AIM into the ground. Out as AIM's leader, while also dealing with his crumbling marriage and family life, the mental organism designed only for killing is set to confront his greatest challenge yet. The vocal ensemble will also include Melissa Fumero, Amy Garcia, Ben Schwartz, Wendy McLennan-Covey, Beck Bennett, John Daly, and Sam Richardson. Marvel's MODOK was created and written by executive producers Oswald and Jordan Bloom. Saturday Night Live alum Maya Rudolph returned to guest host the sketch comedy series this weekend. Rudolph reprised the role of Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, while comedian and former SNL star Martin Short made a surprise appearance as Harris's shy but amorous husband Doug Egmoff, and current SNL players Chloe Fineman portrayed Emhoff's stylish daughter Ella. They're seen hosting a Kamala Harris Unity Center for Passover. Harris says, tonight we asked the 4 questions. How's school? Did you eat? When are you giving me grandchildren? And what's with that haircut? In the spirit of fiash, I've reached across the aisle. Joe Biden gave me a list of Republicans to reach out to, and I'm starting at the bottom. Additional guests include President Biden, played by Alex Moffat, and his recently retrained dog Major, as well as Senator Ted Cruz, played by Addie Bryan, Senator Raphael Warnock, played by Kenan Thompson, and Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, played by Cicely Strong. Biden and Harris discussed Biden's recent solo press conference. Biden says it was so easy. He started, a lot of people thought I wasn't mentally prepared, but I, before pulling note cards out of his pocket and reading, think I proved them all wrong. Biden then asked Harris if she heard he had put her in charge of solving a little immigration problem down at the Mexican border. Harris wondered, yes, I did hear that. Wow, thank you for the opportunity. Such a fun, solvable problem. And what are you in charge of? Biden replied, giving out checks. Who wants stimmies? Who? Make it rain. Avengers franchise and Black Monday actor Don Cheadle will play the narrator on ABC's upcoming Wonder Years reboot. Cheadle will lend his voice to the grown-up version of Dean, played by Elijah Williams in the dramedy. Co-starring Dule Hill, Laura Kiruki, and Sekon Singblog, the reboot will follow a middle-class black family in 1960s Alabama. In the original series, which ran from 1988 to 1993, Daniel Stern played adult Kevin as he looked back on his childhood. Fred Savage played young Kevin in The Old Show, which is about a white suburban family in the 1960s. Savage is directing and executive producing the pilot for the new series. The last OG showrunner, Saladin Patterson, is writing and producing it. Patterson posted on Instagram Friday, "You'll never go wrong by surrounding yourself with people smarter and more talented than you. Oh, and taking all the credit for their work. That last part is important," along with a screenshot of a media report about Cheetah's casting. Hulu says it's working on a series based on Sarah J. Maas's Court of Thorns and Roses fantasy novel. Maas wrote on Instagram Friday, Ron Moore, creator of Outlander and one of my creative idols, and I will co-adapt at Qatar as a TV show for Hulu. I'm currently hard at work writing the pilot with Ron. And while there is so much more news to share with you guys about bringing the series to life, it just feels so great to finally be able to talk about this. Stay tuned for more details. Moore is a writer-producer known for his work on the popular TV shows For All Mankind, Outlander, and Battlestar Galactica. Maas is also the author of the Thorn of Glass and Crescent City series of books. Set in a fairy world, The Court of Thorn and Roses was published in 2015. It is followed by the sequels A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wing and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. No casting for the TV series or version of the show has been announced yet. CBS announced that Sharon Osbourne will no longer be a panelist on The Talk. The network said in a statement Friday, the events of the March 10th broadcast were upsetting to everyone involved, including the audience watching at home. As part of our review, we concluded that Sharon's behavior towards her co-host during the March 10th episode did not align with our values for a respectful workplace. We also did not find any evidence that CBS executives orchestrated the discussion or blindsided of any of the hosts. The show has been on hiatus for the past 2 weeks on CBS, working with the Talk team to create more harmonious atmosphere. The statement says, during this week's hiatus, we are coordinating workshops, listening sessions, and training about equity, inclusion, and cultural awareness for the hosts, producers, and crew. Going forward, we are identifying plans to enhance the production team and staff and producing procedures to better serve the hosts, the production, and ultimately the viewers. Osbourne was the last original co-host of the show. She exited season 11 after she had engaged in a heated on-air discussion about race with fellow panelist Cheryl Underwood. Several other people also came forward to accuse Osbourne of making culturally insensitive remarks to and about her co-stars. Osbourne issued an apology on Twitter after her March 10th interaction with Underwood, during which Osbourne defended her friend and broadcaster Piers Morgan's right to criticize Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's complaints about being mistreated by the royal British family. She wrote, "To anyone of color that I've offended and to anyone that I feel confused or let down by what I said, I'm truly sorry. I panicked, felt blindsided, got defensive, and allowed my tears to allow my fears and horror of being accused of being racist take over." Osbourne has not publicly commented on her departure from the chat show. The other current hosts are Eve, Caroline Inaba, Amanda Klutz, and Elaine Welteroth. An in-person San Diego ComicCon event is being planned from November 26th to the 28th after the 2020 edition went viral due to the coronavirus pandemic. Most live gatherings and performances have been canceled and postponed during this past year as people practice social distancing to slow the spread of the COVID-19. David Gansler, the representative for the fan convention, said in the statement Saturday, "While we have been able to pivot from in-person gatherings to limit one event, the loss of revenue has had an acute impact on the organizations that it has, with many small businesses necessitating reduced work schedules and reduction in pay for employees, among other issues. Hopefully this event will shore up our financial reserves and mark a slow return to larger in-person gatherings in 2022. Entrance fees, attendance capacity, and celebrity participation have not been announced yet. The convention, which celebrates comic book culture and the films and TV it inspires, is expected to take place at the San Diego Convention Center." Hilary Duff has shared the first photo for her youngest child. Duff captioned a photo of her cradling the newborn while sitting in a home birth tub with her 2-year-old daughter, Blanks Violet. May James Bear, "We love you, your beauty," at March 24th, 2021. Looking out from outside the tube are Duff's 9-year-old son, Luca Cruz, and her husband, Matthew Coma. The family portrait got almost 2 million likes since it was posted on Saturday. On Friday, Duff shared a photo of Banks in a bathtub. It was captioned, "I'm a big sister, marinating on how I feel about that." Duff did not reveal the sex, name, or birth of her new baby until a day later, however. Dylan Passage has announced on Instagram that he is divorcing his former Tiger King co-star Joe Exotic Maldonado. Exotic was arrested shortly after they were married in 2017, keeping the husband separated for the past several years. Passage, who's 25, wrote on Instagram on Friday, "To answer the main question the public wants to know, yes, Joe and I are seeking a divorce. This wasn't an easy decision to make, but Joe and I both understand that this situation isn't fair to either of us. It's something that neither of us were expecting, but we're going to take it day by day. We're on good terms still, and I hope it can stay that way. I will continue to have Joe in my life and do my best to support him while he undergoes further legal battles to better his situation. Maldonado's attorney, John Phillips, confirmed the split to People.com. Phillips said, our firm is reviewing options with our client Joel Maldonado Passage regarding separation and divorce. We have no comment at this time and request privacy. Joe is simultaneously dealing with medical issues, civil rights violations, and the appeal of his conviction. The world has come to know Joe Exotic as the bigger-than-life Tiger King, but right now he is dealing with the very real hardships and injustices within our criminal justice system and how it destroys all things a person on the outside holds dear. Maldonado is a former Oklahoma zookeeper sentenced to 22 years in prison in January 2020 after he was convicted of several crimes, including a murder-for-hire plot to kill a rival animal rights activist. He and Passage starred in Tiger King on Netflix docuseries that became a pop culture phenomenon as people were confined to their homes during the early days of the coronavirus pandemic last spring. Beverly Cleary, the author of dozens of children's books, including Beezus and Ramona and The Mouse and the Motorcycle, has died in California, her publisher announced Friday. She was 104. HarperCollins Publishing said that the beloved children's book author died Thursday in Carmel, California, her home for 6 decades. Her cause of death wasn't revealed. Susan Murphy, the president and publisher of HarperCollins Children's Book, says, we are saddened by the passing of Beverly Cleary, one of our most beloved children's authors of all time. Looking back, she often say, I've had a lucky life, and generations of children count themselves lucky too. Lucky to have the very real characters Beverly Cleary created, including Henry Huggins, Ramona and Beezus Quimby, and Ralph S. Mouse, as true friends who helped share their growing up years. We at HarperCollins also feel extremely lucky to have worked with Beverly Cleary and to have enjoyed her sparkling wit. Her timeless books are an affirmation of her everlasting connections to the pleasures and challenges and triumphs that are part of every childhood. Born in 1960 in Oregon, Cleary began her career as a librarian. She published her very first book, Henry Huggins, about the adventures of a little boy and his dog Ribsy, in 1950. She would go on to tell more stories about Henry, sisters Beezus and Ramona Quimby, Ellen Tippett, Socks the Cat, and Ralph S. Mouse. She even delved into the world of Leave It to Beaver with a handful of books based on the popular television program. She won a number of awards for her book, including the Newbery Medal for 1984 for Dear Mr. Henshaw and the National Book Award in 1981 for Ramona and Her Mother. In 2003, former President George W. Bush bestowed upon her the National Medal of Arts. HarperCollins says her books were translated into 29 languages and sold 85 million copies around the globe. Asked where she got her ideas, she said, from my own experience and from the world around me. Paul Zelinsky, the co-chair of the PEN Americans Children and Young Adults Book Committee and the illustrator of 3 of Cleary's books, said her work represented some of the best-loved fiction for her young readers. He says her writing was so perfect tuned and so unobstructive that her phenomenal skills as a writer was, I think, insufficiently noted. These scenes played out with hilarity and poignancy and feel so natural that you could hardly imagine work having gone into them. The PEN's American Children's and Young Adult Children's Committee cherish her memory. Cleary is survived by her children, Malcolm and Marianne, 3 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Cleary was 104. A New York-based federal appeals court ruled Friday that pop art artist Andy Warhol's 1984 paintings of Prince, based on photographs by Lynn Goldsmith, did not go far enough to transform the original portrait. The Second U.S. Court of Appeals sided with Goldsmith in her lawsuit, which argued that Warhol's series of 16 Prince artworks violated her copyright. The decision overturned a U.S. District Court decision in the case. The series includes 12 silkscreen paintings, 2 pen drawings, and 2 screen prints. The ruling, written by Judge Gerald Lynch, says Crucially, the Prince series retains the essential elements of the Goldsmith photographer without significantly adding to or adding those elements. The appellate court remanded the case back to the lower courts. Goldsmith took the photo of the late musician Prince in 1981 and licensed it to Vanity Fair to be used Although the court ruling, the magazine commissioned Warhol to create an image based on the photograph without Goldsmith's knowledge. The court document says Warhol did not stop with the image of that Vanity Fair had commissioned him to create, but create an additional 15 works, which in the court documents. Goldsmith said she became first aware of the additional artwork after Prince's death in 2016 and notified that the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts, which manages the late pop artist's estate, or the alleged copyright infringement. The foundation sued for a declaratory judgment that the artworks did not violate copyrights, and Goldsmith countersued. Goldsmith said she was grateful for the court's ruling in a statement, and she wrote, 40 years ago, the Andy Warhol Foundation sued me to obtain a ruling that it could use my photograph without asking my permission or paying me for anything that works for my work. Lucas, a lawyer for the Andy Warhol Foundation, said the organization plans are country artist Morgan Wallen's Dangerous, the double album, is number 1 on the Billboard 200 charts for the 10th week. Coming in number 2 on the roster dated for Saturday is Pop Smoke's Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, followed by Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia at number 3, The Weeknd's After Hours at number 4, and Giveon's When It's All Said and Done at number 5. Running up the top tier are Pool Shiesty with Shiesty Season number 6, Lil Baby's My Term at number 7, Lil Durk's The Voice at number 8, Rob Zombie's The Lunar Interjection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy at number 9, and Taylor Swift's Folklore at number 10. And finally, the Bob Odenkirk thriller Nobody is the number 1 movie in North America theaters this weekend, earning $6.7 million in receipts, BoxOfficeMojo.com announced Sunday. Coming in number 2 is Raya and the Last Dragon with $2.5 million, followed by Tom and Jerry at number 3 with $2.5 million, Chaos Walking at number 4 with $1.2 million, and The Courtier number 5 with $1 million. Right at the top tier are The Croods, A New Age at number 6 with $540,000, The Marksman at number 7 with $375,000, Boogie at number 8 with $340,000, Minari at number 9 with $275,000, and Wonder Woman 1984 at number 10 with $245,000. And that was your entertainment report for Monday, March 29th, 2021. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.